Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Small Steps Academy. And in this class, this is a continuation with the previous class. Okay, and we ended our previous class with doing the assessment of the Vakil Brahmananda plan. Okay, so we will start off our class number 3 with some of the distinction between, or basically difference between, the NM and VB plan. Okay, Nehru and Vakil Brahmananda plan differences. Okay, also the Nehru Mahalanobis model is also known as second FYP 5-year plan model. Okay, so this is just for the reference. Also, I already told you that it was inspired by the Friedman's models of Soviet Union, but Mahalanobis denied the fact that he has not copied this model from anyone. Okay, so first we just make out some difference between NM and VB model. Okay, so here I will write down the basis and let's see what will come here. So this is the very basic, or you can say broad difference. Okay, so this is not a quite deep distinction we are making, but broadly we are classified. Okay, so if we talk about focus, so NM model was focused on heavy good, and this VB model was focused on wage goods sector. Okay, now let's come on to the second one. Let's take it the nature. So okay, so if we talk about the nature, this is supply side model and this is demand side. Okay, and the last we will be doing we will be taking the basis of what did they actually took stress upon. So first is in the NM model took the stress on industrial development, whereas in VB model they gave more focus for the agriculture development. Okay, so this was the broad distinction between these two models. Okay, so now let's get on further. So now let's see the author's take, that is PB's take on both model. Okay, so what does the author think? So this is basically the summary. I already told you what the author think, so this is basically the summary. So first of all, the author preferred NM model over VB model. Okay, we have already discussed that. Second, the author find out that that there is underutilization of the external sector. Okay, since it was a closed economy, so they did not take any foreign help or something, so it was a major limitation for both the model, no foreign aid. Okay, third, he find out that the capacity building in the economy is a major issue in both the model. Okay, capacity building, it was also a major issue in both the models. And the last is agriculture and industry are both essential for the growth. Okay, both essential. So this was the author take, and also this statement can also be supported by the Raj Krishna speech, which tells about that 4% growth in agriculture cannot happen by higher growth in industry, and similarly 7% growth in the industry cannot happen with higher growth in agriculture. Okay, now let us study about the misconceptions and neglect in the misperception and neglects in the Nehru era. Okay, Nehru era. Okay, so the first one is the neglect of agriculture. Okay, so it has been seen by many economists that there was a neglect of agriculture at policy level and also at the resource level, because there was insufficient allocation of the resources to agriculture, because it is seen that agriculture was ignored in comparison with the attention paid to the industrialization in the NM policy or Nehru-Mahalanobis policy. Okay, but what did author say on this perception? Okay, so authors say that it was not perfectly neglected. Okay, agriculture was not neglected completely, but its growth rate could be higher. And for the support of this statement, he says that there was 22.7% investment in agriculture in the third FYP. Second, there was a guaranteed minimum support price, and also government were giving subsidies at that time. So that was the author take on this first perception. Okay, now let's come on to the second one. So the second point is that public sector enterprise was seen as a black hole. Okay, so why is this so? So first, that there was no reliance on the foreign aid, and in India today there is an unmistakable frustration with the public sector. It is associated with the poor performance resented for its lack of innovation, disdained for its contempt of social responsibility, and considered a draft on the public resources. So you know all the negatives of this public sector. So that was all the statement which was supported this statement that public sector was a black hole at that time. Okay, but what did the author counter argue on this? So author said that the public sector was not a black hole at that time, and he gave some factual evidences to support his argument. So what was the argument? The first is that there was increase in the fund base due to the performance of the public sectors, and there is evidence on both resource mobilization and the contribution of the public sector to it. Okay, now let us see about some fact and see what are the performance of this public sector. Okay, so first it may be repeated that a surge in public investment had been achieved in the Nehru era. Okay, and a 15-year record of expansion that has not been surpassed. Secondly, the share of public saving in the total saving has risen by the end of the period. Third, though the extent of this increase is not much greater than that of the private corporate sector, but it is still noteworthy that the expansion of investment was led by an expansion of public saving as was intended. Also, they divided their public sector into two parts. First was the public authorities, and second was the non-departmental enterprises. Okay, so the public authorities comprises of the government administration and departmental commercial enterprise, and if I talk about the non-departmental enterprise, they comprises of the government companies and statutory corporations. So now let's come on to the third neglect, which is neglect of primary education. Okay, this is also you can also see this as a irony, because Nehru was famous among the kids, and also Children's Day was celebrated in the name of at the Nehru's birthdays, and instead of that there was neglect of primary education in his era. Okay, so this is a great irony, and it may be asked sometime in the question also. So there was less fund was given for the primary education, and there was less importance that was given to the education. And if I talk about the author's point of view regarding this, so authors feels the same as the fact stated. So now finally let's come at the conclusion, and this chapter will be this report will be over. Okay, so let's come on to the conclusion part now. So the public policy of the Nehru era has set in motion a more or less stagnant colonial economy. A proliferating bureaucracy, corruption, closeness to foreign capital, and the consequent technological backwardness in production, the lack of competition, and the consequent shoddiness of the consumer good, an unaccountable public sector, and the consequent low productivity. Okay, all perhaps unintendedly, but surely tragically came along. Okay, so to speak. But it cannot be denied that the economy had been moving, and in any case, specific policies were open to the correction. So basically, the Nehru era was a mix of positives and negative. Like they have made Indian economy more competitive. Also, the income level increased. The industry was doing well. Okay, but there was high state role and government intervention. If I talk about the negatives, and complete closeness to the foreign capital, technological backwardness, lack of competition, which I already told you, and unaccountable public sector, corruption, etc. So these were the negatives, and they were positive also. So it was basically the mix of both the negatives and positive. So I hope guys you understand this lecture. Okay, and if you find any difficulty or you have any doubt, you can just ask me in the comment section. I will be very happy to help you. Okay, so that was all for today's class. We have finished off the recovery of India and economic growth in the Nehru era. Okay, so if you like the video, you can share with your friends also. And goodbye for now. We'll meet you in the next video.